Titus to Acheran. Do you read me?
Righto, so on finishing it, I gotta say, it's probably like a 8 or 9 out of 10 game. It's really, really good. Apart from that one fucking absolutely bullshit level, where you are stuck with a flamethrower with a bullshit short range, the infinitely spawning rippers. Yeah, fuck that level. Apart from that level, which is a bit of a misstep, game's actually very good. Even the operations, which are balanced differently, they're sort of balanced more around multiplayer. Like, even they sort of work well, because they don't have, like, some sort of, you know, bullshit environmental hazard enemy that you can't fully deal with in the Rippers, and you have to deal with them the whole fucking level, and it reduces your movement speed to like snail's pace, and yeah, it's absolute fucking nightmare. And then it throws like ranged enemies. Yeah, look, that level fucking absolutely sucks. It's probably the reason why it's not a 10 out of 10 game. But hey, this game's good. 8 or 9 out of 10. Did extremely well. Not woke at all, besides maybe the Astra Militarum woman leader, but honestly, she's scarred to shit. She looks experienced. I'm fine with it. I'm fine when they do shit like that. But, yeah, not woke. Probably gonna do well. And it will be very interesting to see where they go from here with Space Marine 3, because it did actually sell well. And since it's not going to be woke, they could do any number of things. They could make it a bit darker with Slaanesh and Dark Eldar, with the Dark Eldar, you know, torturing the absolute fuck out of people. They could make it more into action, thriller, horror genre, if they wanted, rather than sort of multiplayer, swarm shooter. But, like, yeah. Or they could even take it into a different direction and with a completely new Space Marine and do something with Khorne and have like a Loyalist Astartes, possibly like a Space Wolf or something, potentially falling to Khorne, and that could be like the whole plot around the game. They can do any number of fucking really good things with it. This game worked out extremely well. Even the balance around the bosses, where, as you can see now, you get the plasma rifle. And one of my earlier criticisms of this was the plasma rifle doesn't function quite as a plasma rifle in the lore. It doesn't, but it can be made to, sort of. Like, the charged shots do a bunch of damage to the bosses. And the heavy plasma incinerator in the operations, which functions sort of like a grenade launcher, closer to like a lore plasma gun, that chunks bosses right the hell down. It like can one-shot these Rubric Marines. Like, it's very powerful, particularly if you've got the charged shot buff on it. And it makes the heavy class interesting. And there is a fair bit of balance to it, because if you pick heavy class and go plasma gun and plasma incinerator, like heavy plasma incinerator, ammunition's a real problem. So you can do like an absolute fuck ton of burst damage, but you have extremely low ammunition and you can just run out of ammunition. And because that class doesn't have a melee weapon, it only has like a sort of dodgy stomp, you can just be fucked. But like the balance for that like feels fine. The same functions, like it functions exactly the same when you get, say, the multi-melter in the heavy class, which acts as basically a super shotgun. You still have low ammunition with it, but rather than, you know, plasma incinerator, which is like extremely high damage on a single target, which is great for boss enemies or medium-sized enemies, but not that good for swarms, you get the multi-melter. The multi-melter is really, really good for swarms, okay for medium-sized enemies and not that good for long-range or boss enemies. So it has a lot of balance to it. It's got like extremely good balance with the weapons. And then of course you get the heavy bolter. I'm not the biggest fan of the heavy bolter, but it's fine. It's fine. It overheats really quickly. That's one of the main issues. You can't go full auto with it. So it does have pretty decent DPS in a constant stream, but it is extremely limited because it eventually just overheats. For the secondary, you can always go the plasma pistol, and the plasma pistol functions as a slightly weaker version of basically a plasma incinerator. It does a charge shot, and rather than, you know, 2 clean charge shots stunning like a Rubric Marine, it would be like 3 charge shots stunning a Rubric Marine. But like other weapons like the bolter, it's like a constant like 30-second stream to sort of stun a Rubric Marine. So like all the weapons are very balanced, and all the in-game lore and world building, like even like the on-site infirmary, or the Cadian speech, or the commissar executing the people that abandoned their posts, which is like a very reasonable thing to do when you're faced with Tyranids. Like, their numbers are in the trillions, and once they start attacking a world, everything pretty much turns on you. Their whole goal is to devour the entire world, like with rippers and spores and all the rest of it. They like want to kill you, eat you, dump their bodies into like a digestion pit, and then use like a flesh pillar to get like all of the shit out of like the earth and put it into their hive ship as just material and fuel. Their main thing is like constant hunger, and they've done a really good job of that in this game. In terms of like changer of ways and Rubric Marines and Thousand Suns enemies, the Rubric Marines and Chaos Rubric Terminators, they were always a good weapon because it's like they're weaker than just a regular Astartes, right? It's not like a one-to-one comparison. So they work pretty good as a medium-sized sort of fodder enemy. Whereas, like, if anything, the Chaos Space Marines in lore are actually probably a bit more than just a regular normal Marine, just because they have a ton more of like warfare experience and practice and all that sort of thing, because a lot of them are like left over from like 10,000 years ago, so they've had like 10,000 years to accumulate like all this experience and knowledge and muscle memory and all that sort of thing. So they usually tend to be better like in single combat against just like sort of base loyalist Marines. The Primaris Marines are probably a bit tougher. Well, they're actually like quite a bit tougher, but they lack the experience of the Chaos Marines, so they tend to lose through tricks and that sort of shit. But they tend to be like much tougher one-on-one. The Primaris have like a bunch of different shit. Like they're bigger, obviously. They're faster. They've got faster reaction time. They've got a Belisarian furnace thing in their chest, so they'll get like a burst of energy when they're dying. It's basically the Witness Me thing from Fury Road, pretty much. When they're on their last legs, the Belisarian furnace in their chest goes off, and it gives them a bunch of energy to do some sort of, you know, super heroic suicide move. But like, it wouldn't be like that accurate in lore to have like a Space Marine just absolutely ripping shit through a bunch of Chaos Space Marines, put it that way. But that works pretty well because the Thousand Sons of Rubric Marines are they basically got fucked over with Ahriman and his rubric, so then they're like lesser. They're like all dust and like echo and memory inside, and they're sort of controlled by the super psycho like Chaos Sorcerer Thousand Suns. So they're actually a good fodder enemy, lore-wise. But from here, they've got so many more directions to go for Space Marine 3. If they truly want to go anti-woke and pretty much say, you know, fuck all the trans, queer, identifying, promiscuous, shit Marxist, Satanist degenerates, and they want to make a game, you know, directly condemning all of that, they can obviously go Dark Eldar and the Slaanesh route, and directly just spit in the face of like woke ideology. If they wanted to sort of maintain an even keel, but maybe even slightly insult the right, they could do a parody of Khorne sort of thing. And they could just have like a small number of space wolves or whatever defending a planet from like a Khornite invasion, and one of the space wolves like begins falling to Khorne just because he's like fucking super savage and he like loves warfare and all that sort of thing, and that can be the plot arc of the character. But the thing is, like, 40k lore is so wide and deep and rich that there are fucking tons. There's like tons of things they can do with it. But yeah, this is a very good start, and it's sold well too, unlike some of the, you know, more recent shit woke things that like undersold or didn't sell at all or were cancelled. Like, you know, the game with the Black Samurai or whatever. Or like now, like, even the new Ghost of Tsushima, Ghost of Yotei or whatever it is, even that's getting a bunch of shit now because it's like a feminine girl boss character. And like, then there was Concord, and you know, there were a bunch of, you know, queer non-binaries in that, and those queer non-binaries in that pretty much fucking tanked the game because no one likes that shit. Like, it's like narcissism 101. Like, why would you force your shit into the game, have the game fucking tanked because no one likes it, and then after the game's tanked and no one likes it, then fucking blame the customer? Like, you basically, your whole model for selling, your whole business model is going to fail. Like, people fucking hate narcissists and like sociopaths, and that's like narcissist sociopaths and max. Like, I don't get it. But yeah, this game's great. What I've got now is the multi-melter, and the multi-melter feels fucking awesome. Particularly against like swarming gaunts and shit from the Tyranids, because it just wipes them out, and it feels like a great weapon. Less so with some of the bigger enemies, because they don't have a whole lot of stun when you hit them with it. If they wanted to, like, you know, completely dial up the power fantasy aspect of it, they could give some of the power weapons a bit more stun. Because that's something in this game, it does not balance around stun very well. Like, you can land massive attacks on enemies and they will fucking armor through the attacks with no stun and hit you, and their hits do like fucking serious damage sometimes. Like initially, like once you lose your armor, like a single hit from like a Tyranid early days, I think they patched it, it would do like 70% of your health in like one blade hit. And like, okay, I get it, like, they are melee enemies, they have to run up to you, they give you a lot of time to deal damage to them. But even that feels a bit fucking excessive. Like, one hit is like 70% of your health. Like, that's fucking up there. That's pretty out there in terms of like gameplay design. Like, that's kind of like Dark Souls level fucking damage, right? And at its heart, this is meant to be like a power fantasy, right? It's not meant to be like a grim dark, sort of bleak Japanese FromSoft experience where everything's fucking really hard and you've got to really struggle through and really get good at the game. It's not like an Elden Ring or a Dark Souls 3 or something like that. It's like a very different sort of thing. And the shooter genre that deals with the FromSoft aspects of it already has games like Remnant and Remnant 2. So, like, they'd be treading ground that they didn't need to tread. And, like, the first Space Marine, like, true to form, wasn't that either. It was just a shooter. And it was just, like, a fun shooter to play with very satisfying shooting. And, like, even, like, shit like this, just, like, traditional heroism where they, like, claim the standard and are meant to be doing a last stand. Like, classic heroism stuff like this that always gets subverted these days because of, like, leftist shit. Like, it's like a true to form return to classic heroism that just, yeah, it fucking feels really good. Feels really good. And, like, it was a bit touch and go there for a while as well, because, like, there was a bunch of, like, theory crafting. Because they brought on this queer person to, like head the game, like, initially. And then all the stuff came out with the, like, the Space Marine Buttgate stuff, where in the trailer it had, like, a fucking huge ass, like, flexing. And it was, like, completely fucking unnecessary and, you know, not lore accurate. It felt like a queer addition to it, right? But, yeah, complete success of the game. And, like, even they didn't go all out. They still maintained, like, a level of,
The central obelisk appears to be the source of their power.
a level of something they could rise to. They didn't, you know, blow out the entire range, like, straight away by having Titus rescued by someone like Gilliman or the Lion. They've still got heights they can, like, ascend to here, in terms of plot and climax. Yeah, they've left it open. Like, it really is a good game. It's like 8 or 9 out of 10. Like, it's not perfect. That one level's fucked, but the rest of it works really well. And look, aside from some minor gripes with, like, enemy armor being able to move through attacks, and a complete lack of stun on some weapons. Like, it works very good as a shooter. It's very, very satisfying. It has traditional heroism in it, which is something that's fucking extremely lacking these days with all the subversion of character and subversion of story arcs, starting from, like, George R.R. Martin, and then that descended even further with all the narcissistic woke shit. Now, like, where they just, you know, do long, intense character studies of completely unlikable villains and all that sort of shit. It's like a good return to traditional, like, heroism in the game. And, fucking works really well. Works really well. Like, even from the starting mission, and the starting mission is probably one of the high points of the game, where, like, Titus is in the Death Watch, and his whole team gets wiped out, and he's got to, like, get the fucking virus bomb off. And he sort of makes, like, a last stand. Like, he gets the virus bomb off, and then he's making sort of a last stand, and the Carnifex nearly kills him, and, like, that whole thing is just fucking perfect as, like, a prologue mission for the game. And then, obviously, it builds to the climax, and you've got all, like, the dreadnoughts and the tanks and everything. Fucking really good 40k game, and, like, one of the few that it really starts to show you shit that's in the lore. Like, Fire Warrior didn't really, like, it had a Dreadnought in it. Space Marine 1 didn't have much in it. Had some big ass orcs in it, I guess, and it had some, like, demons, some bloodletters and shit. This is very different. Like, even the scale of the Changer of Ways and how the last boss fight works in terms of mechanics with the Changer of Ways boss fight and it changing size, it really highlights the war is its own thing, and it can control, like, time, space, and matter, and, like, it can shrink and be normal size, or it can be perceived to be absolutely fucking huge. Like, it's done some cool things with the game, some cool things with the game's lore. And it was left open for a sequel at the end, which is really good. Who knows where it's going to go next? Whether it's going to go against the Black Legion, against the Dark Eldar, could even go against Necrons. It could do pretty much anything like it wanted to. Like, it could do Slaanesh next if it was really trying to be culturally relevant and take a huge shit on the current progressive left these days with all their fucking absolutely shit values that are just garbage and that translate into absolutely fucking terrible policies that, like, kill people, get people wounded, allow criminals to re-offend, like that whole thing. If they wanted to and they wouldn't even need to do it, but they could do it to, you know, maintain cultural relevance. They could just do Slaanesh and the Dark Eldar, and they could just make a one-to-one comparison with the Fall of the Eldar, which they could do through, you know, subtle lore, to the current progressive left, these like, today. And it would be pretty good, just with all the, you know, excess, sexual perversion, the whole deal. And they can do, like, a one-to-one comparison with the Fall of the Eldar, and just do, like, a Dark Eldar Space Marine shooting game. And that would sell like fucking hotcakes. I also like the idea of just a Space Wolf versus fucking, Khorne, just on like a random planet, and don't even make the stakes have to be that big. They can just be, you know, small stakes, just one planet. Doesn't need to be like a galaxy or a universe or a system. Could just be like small numbers. Space Wolf versus Khorne, something like that. Like, they could do fucking anything. And like, that's the thing about Warhammer, they really can fucking do anything. Like, it was like a Super Mario sort of speed racing game, just with orcs. And like, you could do that, or you could do like a vehicle combat game with white scars. You could do like any sort of shit. And like, even with, if say you were to do like a Khorne versus Space Wolves thing, you could fucking mix the, you know, like Norse mythology shit into it, with like Odin and Russ as the Allfather and all that sort of shit. And you could make like a fucking deep, sort of rich game out of it. Like, you could do so much with the fucking IP. I just hope they don't give it to like some fucking queer freak and they absolutely fucking shit all over it. I just fucking hope they don't do that. Apparently they've already tried to do it with like the Amazon like Prime series that they were going to try to do. And there was like already a bunch of like fucking ridiculous woke shit in it. But look, got a lot of potential as an IP. Got a lot of places from here. It'll be interesting to see what they do. What they did was, with this, hit it out of the park. Fucking best game with Tyranids in it, period. They got the scale and the swarm of the Tyranids, fucking perfect. Nice little chaos thing at the end. Very well done, very unique depiction of chaos. Just even with all the blue immaterium shit, and even the size and the shape shifting and the unknowable way of chaos and the warp and everything, done a fucking really good job with it. Really good job with all the design there.
Join the main effort.
Drive the blade in deep, brother. Talassa out.
The amount of deceased on Demarium is currently 91,600,452,023. The amount of deceased on Demarium is currently 91,600,900,470. The amount of deceased on Demarium is currently 91,600,000,000.
Watch their fire! They have the advantage. Their close water skills are truly without match. I have a route. Marking it now. This plan of yours may actually work, Gadriel.
An idea is worthless without those that execute it.
I think my hearing is damaged. That sounded like humility. Let us get to work. Deploy front position. Another automaton. Their champion lies defeated. Restocking. Clearing the way. Hellboot! Ah! It has company! Recovering! War Gear Prime! Stabilizing Michael! Decommissioned a malfunctioning dreadnought. Loading up.
Titus, Decimus has a hold on the obelisk controls. Throne that looks like torture, but he is holding fast.
Meridian, how is Decimus?
I have a murderous headache. But the sight of that beast reeling is a fine tonic.
It is indeed.
Permission to join the front lines.
Granted. My thanks, brothers.
Emperor be with you. Meridian out.
One more.
Do you hear that?
Where are the traitors?
They are everywhere.
Honored brother, join us, and you may sate your rage and aid our cause.
Lead me to the slaughter.
Onward.
Was the beginning of my true purpose. Vile sons of madness. Is he here?
He is not.
Pity. Then my hatred must be directed at his minions.
mine, brother.
Lieutenant, excellent work. Rally on my position. Let us burn these heretics to ash.
Yes, my lord. Calgar!
It was a trap.
Perhaps.
Is this the Immaterium?
If it is, we must move quickly.
To where?
We must find Calgar.
The changes inescapable. Even now we walk upon ancient paths, laid out for us before the first mortal true breath. Come to me, brothers, that you may fulfill your final duties.
Our brothers. I hear them.
Do not trust your senses.
Lord Calgar left you to rot in the Death Watch for a century, Brother Titus.
Coward! Cease cowering behind illusions!
Make a bulwark of your hatred, brothers.
I smell fear.
Loading up.
Where is Lord Calgar? Gilman's dog has been brought to heel.
Heretic! You died this day!
This is my domain. You are here by my invitation. I am offering you a chance to kneel.
Our chapter, sir, shall use your skull as a piss pot! Lord Calgar! Release him! And we shall do you the honor of ending you swiftly!
Release him! After all your efforts in bringing him to me!
Enough games!
Silence this heretic.
One last dance before the strings are cut! I commend thee to oblivion! You will soon stand at my side, boy!
Only to sever your head from your body!
Brothers! You lie! You are no match for them, heretic! And so you deceive!
Your brother's buckline beneath the power of the war.
Titus! What happened?
This fool tried and failed to contain me. Reloading weapon.
I have fought for sameness myself. I shall leave you in good company.
Resupplying. The Demon Lord! Wolf Demon! Open the eyes! All other attacks are useless! Munitions secured. are mere imitations. Or trickery.
Guard yourselves.
Imura is weakening. Over there. Something is happening.
Watch your backs. He has eyes everywhere.
Lord Calgar! Could be another illusion. Lord Calgar!
My words to you on Talasar. Speak them.
My lord!
Speak them, or be slain for an impostor.
Rules should never make a prisoner of intelligence.
Titus, it is good to see you.
That sorcerer's power wavers. He is vulnerable.
See how his domain weakens as he does.
There is only one place left for him to hide.
Let us dig out the heretic.
There he is! Within the stream!
He prepares for another attack.
It is the artifact. It must be. There is almost limitless power within that shard.
Then we must make haste, brothers.
Brother, it is over. You did it. Brother!
Rise, Titus. Your duty is not yet done.
Emperor!
For the Emperor!
Lieutenant Demetrian Titus, your decisive actions have saved this system from ruin. And so it is with great pride that I now present you with an honor worthy of your deeds. The Laurels of Victory. Let every warrior of the Adeptus Astartes see that here stands the true measure of a son of Guilliman.
For the glory of Ultramar!
Courage and honor!
Company dismissed.
Forgive me, brother, that it took me so long to bring you home.
My lord, that is...
Fierce was my wrath when I learned of your detention. In their arrogant suspicion, the Inquisition failed to recognize the truth. That no evil will ever overcome a devotion such as yours.
Thank you, my lord.
There is a mission. It will take you away from the Second Company for a time.
As you command, Chapter Master.
The Brother Chaplain will brief you. It was he that suggested you for the task.
My lord, the Sword of Kalth is ready to depart.
Thank you, Captain. My ship will convey you to your destination. I shall be glad of your company.
Titus, it has been an honor.
It has indeed, my captain.
I hear you'll be taking your leave of us. Not for too long, I hope. Emperor guide you.
And you, sir. Brothers, I am called to serve elsewhere.
You'll be missed, my lord.
I will not forget the blood we have drawn together.
Nor shall we.
I owe you both a debt. You have restored my faith in brotherhood.
We shall await your return.
Courage and honor.
Courage and honor.
Titus,
Lord Calgar has informed you of your assignment. Good. I will brief you en route.
You are joining us.
I am.
Very good, my lord.
You have done well. You have won the trust of your brothers. And of the Chapter Master. But know this, Titus. The stain of suspicion never completely fades. I will be watching you. Should you falter on the path, for even a moment. I will show no mercy.
Leandros.
my lord, it is time.